Hi everybody, this is Brian Koo with another ROK video, bringing you the week 2 bets in the Grand Prix. Now, I do apologize for this video being a little late, and we are not going to be able to do any Supreme Strife betting because that event happens later today. I will be casting this event on the official channel at 18 UTC today with Apocalypse Gaming and Dirty Dan. Now, what I did with my bets was I put it on IN. I felt like IN has a good chance of finishing in the top 3. And I'm not going to lie, I don't understand exactly how you're going to win or lose bets with this. And I will just say with the Supreme Strife event that I think I missed a pretty good opportunity here. I forgot to bet in week 1. And you can win some really, really good prizes here. As you can see, you can win something like 25,000 gems or so. And I do want to show you what my friend Goody did. There's Goody right there. We just did a fort together. But Goody had a really good performance in Supreme Strife. I think he bought all the coins in the first week, and then he made winning bets every single week. And so he is able to buy out the gem shop because he's picked up 462,000 Supreme coins. So that's a great performance by him. And, you know, what it just goes to show you is a good principle of gambling in general, which is you want to look for opportunities that other people aren't paying attention to. And sometimes the most boring opportunities or the weirdest opportunities, they are the best ones. Supreme Strife betting, it's just not something that we have seen before in this game. And so if you did get a good jump on it, you had a chance to honestly get better prizes than you can really even get in the Grand Prix shop. To give you all just a bit of a preview of Supreme Strife and what we're going to be casting later today, this is going to be a free-for-all match. This is the finals of Supreme Strife. It's going to be a free-for-all. There's no requirements that you fight the people who you're in a corner with. It's just going to be whatever you want to do. And I think this probably means that there will be some deals made quietly, either before the match or during the match. I think if people are making deals before the match, all they're doing is getting ahead of what is inevitably going to happen during the match. And so realizing that the one team is just incredibly strong and has the most power, they've had very good leadership in the past, and it looks like they've added Wild Lion and Mr. Hope and BT Cyborg. You know, they already had Makote. One looks like the favored team here. And so I just kind of feel like it makes sense for One and IN to leave each other alone because they are next to each other here, and IN is one of the strongest teams. Maybe they'll just leave each other alone, push towards the middle, secure their own corners, and that's why I put my coins on IN with this one. But I do think One is probably the favorite, and if there are any sort of deals on the top side looks kind of strong, but you know, One just looks really, really strong here, I think. So that's what Supreme Strife is going to be later today. Be sure to tune in for that. But, you know, we do have some really good opportunities in the Grand Prix betting. We've got a little bit over, we actually got over a day before the betting for this closes. They don't close until the matches happen at UTC 1400 on Sunday. I'll also be casting this alongside Plato and Chisgel. And honestly, we have some amazing bets in the Grand Prix here. The people who have placed wagers so far have not done a very smart job of it. So we're just going to go through this, and we're going to do a flat 20% on each of these bets. So that's going to be about 900 or so coins for me. The first bet is honestly the most amazing bet that I've ever seen in the wagering for Rise of Kingdoms. We have GY16 here. I mean, you almost are like, am I reading this wrong? No. GY16, the defending champions of this event, the two-time Grand Prix champions, they are giant underdogs to 60 GT. Now, 60 GT looked good last week, I admit that, but they are not the team, the old GT. They're more of the MX team with a handful of GT veterans. And GY16, they're the defending champs. So we're just going to bet them as massive underdogs. If you want, you could bet everything on GY16. If you just want to, like, get as many coins as you can, go ahead and bet everything on GY16. I mean, it's possible they lose, and you're going to win a lot anyway at these odds. So we're just going to go ahead and bet 20% on it, and just to spread it out, so that I can talk to you about some of these other bets. This next bet is almost just as amazing. 62M1 is a Chinese team that won last week against another Chinese team. They're up against 93T. Now, this should be a great match, honestly. 93T was the best international team in the Grand Prix last year. And, certainly a lot of us hope that 93T performs well again here. But when you've got a team that's 1-0, a Chinese team that's 1-0 here that has 10 stars, and they're just a giant underdog to 93T, you just bet on this giant underdog. So we're going to do that again here. We're just going to bet we're betting like 20% of our bankroll. I think I did the math a little bit wrong because I thought I would get some coins for making a bet, but I guess I didn't. But anyway, this is fine. The next bet is going to be on, by the way, I will be casting the Beer versus 748W match tomorrow. You can see this is a 50-50 proposition here between these two international teams. This should be a great match between Beer and 748. So really looking forward to casting that match. We are going to also bet on VVRS here. Again, this one just doesn't make sense. VVRS lost by 15,000 last week to GY16. 261K was the team that GT played last week. They did look pretty sloppy. GT beat them pretty handily. And so VVRS, being that they are the underdog here and they actually had a better performance against GY16, we are going to go ahead and also bet 20% on this team here. That's going to be VVRS. And then the other two we are going to go with are going to be these bottom two bets. We're going to bet on another underdog here. Again, this is a Chinese team playing against an international team. OAW1, they did lose last week. 2377, they also lost last week. 2377 had some issues in Supreme Strife last week and didn't really have, from what I could tell, a great performance in their Zone 5 fight against 489. So we're going to go ahead and bet again here on the underdog, the Chinese team, as the underdog to the international team. I think what happened here is that this is just international people betting. They see 2377, and then they see a team they've never heard of, and they just bet on 2377. That's fine for us. We're paying attention, and we're going to take advantage of these weak lines, and we're going to bet something like 20% of our bankroll on 08W1. Bit of a tongue twister to say that one. Now, the last one here, again, we're going to bet on a Chinese team against an international team. I don't think this one makes a lot of sense either, really. I guess this one is not. I'm looking at this one now. This one is not like amazing. But 21YL did finish very deep in the Grand Prix last season. And so 955A, they lost by 10K points last week to 21YL. DQ39, they lost by more points. They lost by 15K points to 45Q last week. Basically, 955A lost by less to a more proven opponent than DQ39 did. Also, just the fact that 955A is the Chinese team, we're tending to favor the Chinese teams here, thinking that they have done better in the past, so they are more likely to do better in the present. And so we'll bet what we have left here on 955A. Let's just go through this again. We're betting 20% on all these bets, but admittedly, these first two bets here are the most amazing ones. Just absolute wrong team favored, basically. You hear this sometimes in sports betting. Wrong team favored. GY16 here, they should be the favorites against GT, so we will bet them as a massive underdog. 62M1 feels to me like they should be the favorites against 93T. Maybe this is more like 50-50 here, but as a huge underdog, we take the 62M1 here. VVRS, OAW1, and 955A. That is going to be the wagers for the Grand Prix. Do be sure to tune in for that on Sunday at 14 UTC. It is a weekend of excellent esports action here in Rise of Kingdoms, and it is always my privilege to be casting that to all of you. So that's going to be it for this video. Do throw a like on the video, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and until next time, I will see you all on the flip side.